It's time for the season finale of Owl House Season 2. Although this will not be our final podcast. We'll return to review every episode of Season 3, whenever the heck that comes out. We also have one more podcast for Season 2. Much like we did with Season 1, we'll be doing the Owl House Awards, where we will look back on Season 2 and rank certain aspects of it based on categories. Our previous attempt at this was really fun and really silly, so I hope you'll tune in for this one. And if you haven't, go back and watch our Season 1 reviews. We're trying to plan out what other podcasts we could do next. If you have any suggestions, let us know. But in the meantime, my channel's also home to plenty of discussion and news videos about other cartoons. So please stay tuned. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed Owl House Season 2, and I hope you enjoyed our review series. It being about covens and stuff, like I've never watched I've never really even heard the term coven before this show.
Really?
But like you guys were talking. I mean, like vaguely, but I didn't really like. I've never saw a piece of media where like that's the focus of it. Really.
I'm in a coven in real life. We meet naked in the woods every day at 3 a.m.
Oh, what the heck? That's what that's called? That's
yeah.
A coven?
And
Right.
you're like, I guess I'm in a coven too.
I guess I'm in one too.
Holy crap! What was that?
You guys hear about this girl lost in Frogland? I think it might be a hoax.
Shut up! Worst possibly placed amphibia reference. Literally, why would you have that at that moment? That is like... Okay, I don't want to spend the entire opening minutes ranting about an amphibia joke, but come on!
I haven't watched Amphibia, but I could, like, that is adorable, but that was not the place to do it, and it was, like, very extremely obvious. Like, they held on that shot for an extra second or two that they didn't need to.
They should have done it. They even had a picture of Anne Boonchey. They should have had that in, like, another episode. Come on!
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Okay.
Can I start off by saying
Cool.
I'm so proud of them because in terms of like finales and like that, like I know there's only been 2, but it was so much better than season 1's. Like, because they totally could have had that great build up and just kind of fizzled, but like, oh my god, that was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Great drama. It was my thought during this episode is like, I sort of thought of the previous one, like a lot of stuff comes to a head and like sort of gets resolved and then gets foreboded. But I feel like this episode really was like entirely tension. And they did a good job of not making it like too blatantly lore heavy. When they're talking about the collector, they did a great job being subtle about like describing what he is and stuff. And I found that really interesting as opposed to like what talking to Kiki Moore is like, oh, who is the collector? And then she's like, oh, well, you see, the 19,000 years ago, the collector came to our planet, and like she just like says a very vague, like he's from beyond the stars or something.
Yeah,
like,
we
that's it.
really
that was really.
We don't really know at all what he is. Still.
Exactly, and I think I don't know how much we will ever learn of him, but I think this was a good introduction to him, even more so than just seeing him before, because we knew absolutely nothing before, and now we know slightly more. We know like the perfect little amount right now, I think, thanks to what this episode said about him.
What an intro for the collector! Like you don't just show him showing up with like you first reveal that he is a star child from God knows where, and you don't just have him one shot annihilating the previous villain, which is a classic anime moment. You have him tearing reality at the seams for fun. Like, it is so effortless for the collector to just change the time of day so that it's no longer the day of unity. And
to end
it from the moon.
And to end it with such a like flawless king moment, I'm so proud of them. Like earlier when Willow was like you have to find the right moment to help, and like I expected King to be like look at camera, this is the right moment to help. He just like did it, and I'm so happy about it. It was really good.
Honestly.
I was waiting for Luz's arm to come off.
What?
When she was holding
Luz.
in the.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Someone lost their arm this episode.
Yeah.
You've watched too much Adventure Time. Someone's arm came off this episode, though, because as soon as Ida took off her arm at the start of the episode, I was like, does that
Yeah,
get
you
rid of
called
the
it.
draining spell?
Yeah, true.
And then it did!
Kind of funny she didn't think about that. Like, I guess it was a tense moment, but I just, there's so much. They continue to use all the characters, like every single one of them in such like a, in my opinion, like almost flawless way. The way they're all interacting and their part in the story.
Yeah,
I am
feel
still...
like
Sorry, go ahead.
I think this episode there wasn't like who is this episode mostly about? I feel like there's like even screen time for everyone, so it's not
Yeah,
really
I mean...
like there was maybe like the
Well,
Emperor
I don't know.
was the
Maybe
main
it
focus.
kind of had like chunks. Like the beginning part was a lot of focusing on Ida.
Well,
There was some
and
King,
then
yeah.
the side characters before that too, a little bit.
Yeah, but it had a lot of characters, but because it was, most of it was tension and drama, right? Rather than, like, most of the plot had already happened in the previous episode, I guess. So, you had these really tense moments around everything going wrong, and just this increasing amount of hopelessness, I suppose, up until King finally makes his deal with the Collector. So I'd say this is it's called King's Tide. It's a King episode. But it also gives a lot of screen time to other characters like Luz. Now, what did you think of Belos in this episode?
He was hot.
Yeah.
Was like Elder Chora Belos hot?
Yes. Even hotter.
Oh my god, Lich Belos.
What? It didn't even occur to me that like that horror version of Bellows like we saw it already. Like I know that was in his mind. I thought the thing in his mind was going to be different from his real form, and I guess the eyes on it were new.
I don't remember seeing it exactly like that.
It was
Also,
more
like,
it was more
just about-
silhouetted in that episode, but it was the same creature. I expected them to be different, but I'm not bothered by it. I'm just saying that.
Also, like, the fact that that's just his true form, like, I guess we knew that, but, like, I guess I never really thought about it, like, that he's, like, the entire time he's, like, masking as a human or a witch or whatever. It's like, he actually looks like that. It's crazy.
Oh, and then that bit of him talking to Hunter, like turning just his head back to normal. Ooh, yum 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 yum. So that's fantastic. That's
and then, like,
fantastic
Hunter
drawing.
getting, like, a Venom symbiote.
Yep, symbiote time.
Oh, and he brought it into the human world. Oh, wonderful.
Even worse.
Perfect. Watch them get back in their like season 3 finale. They finally open the door and get back, and it's like they're all actually just playing like children's games. Like Ida's like, finally, you're back, and then it's just they're playing like hopscotch with the Collector. No.
Do you
Anyway.
think he can survive though, with just that little bit of him going through the portal?
Yes, I mean the fact that they showed it 100%. Like there's like that's gonna do something. I don't know. Like
And attached to Hunter, no less. Just when Hunter's developed his own individuality, and now he has to deal with Belos again.
you know
Oh
what?
my god.
You know what's interesting is I never really thought about it until Luce was getting like petrified, but she was like, "What do you like?" I guess we haven't really known what he exactly wanted when he was going back to the human world, but he really was just gonna show up and be like, "Hello, I am a witch hunter," and everyone was gonna be like, "You're a freak." Like, like he's gonna finally get there. If he succeeded, he would have just gotten there and been like, "This sucks."
He wanted to be right though. I mean, we don't know how much of the extent of the witch lore like in the human world, but he wanted to go back and be like, guys, all the witches are here, get to the door, let's fucking kill them all, let's go, woo! You know?
Yeah, but they'd already
thought
be
he'd
dead.
start a party. I mean, yeah,
They'd already be
like,
dead.
I don't know, probably his original plan, whether not knowing whether or not they had more blood. He'd want to be like, guys, tell me I'm the coolest, and they're like, you're
Oh
the
yeah, I
coolest.
guess it makes sense.
You found
if
all
I'm
the
being
witches.
honest, like, so this is a little weird to me because I don't know. Like, I guess I can just excuse it for like a lot of off-screen things that happen, maybe. But it surprises me that someone like what is her name, the big-haired plant coven head.
Terra Snapdragon?
Yeah, it surprises
right?
me like someone like her is just like kind of just like I believe the Emperor, and then she was surprised that all this evil stuff was happening, and I'm just like, she seems like a clever character. It's kind of weird to see them,
yeah,
like,
that's
so...
weird.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You think if anyone was, like, smart enough to turn on the Emperor, it would be her. Like, even Kikimora kind of knew about the Collector and all that nonsense, and yet Terra Snapdragon, one of the most intimidating villains of the show, turns out to be a complete idiot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get that they need, like, some people with, like, 100% loyalty to the Emperor but it's like, I guess we didn't see it enough to make it, like, believable that they would, like, totally be like, yeah, this isn't sketchy at all. Like, I'm gonna be so...
What if she was just batshit insane and wanted everyone to die to the spell anyway?
I mean, that would have been
honestly,
cool.
That would be in character, considering how she wanted so badly to kill those children.
Especially like a plant coven leader, she'd be like, now everybody will be one with the soil, I'll be a god. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but instead she's like, wait a minute, is this bad? It's like, yeah, it's not that big of a criticism. It's like, sure. I love the episode, but...
Kikimora didn't know that much, though. Like, she knew more than Bellos thought she knew, but... she was still, like, begging to serve him at the end there.
I feel like we need to go back and turn on captions. There's a point where the Emperor
I'll do that right now. I was thinking that.
I thought he said Caleb. Is that the name?
It was something like that to me too. I'll find it.
I thought he said Philip, but that doesn't make any sense.
do we know his brother's name?
Unless it's revealed in like background details, I don't think we know it officially.
It would be very silly if his brother is actually called Caleb. Like Hunter gave himself the name Caleb, and then that turned out to be his real name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Really awesome music and framing in this episode, just like the previous one.
Dude, you reminded me, the Collector theme was amazing. I was so into it.
For sure.
Like, as soon as they came out, like, and that started playing, I was like, ooh, something's happening. This is great.
The Collector has an adorable design. All of the characters in the show look adorable, but the Collector has an adorable design. It's a shame we already knew about it going in, but, you know.
Again, perks of being a Chan, just don't look at anything, and then you're surprised.
I don't know why Dana Terrace decided to post fan art of the Collector's true form on the internet, only for all of the fans to draw it. Also, I got spoiled on the design by, images on Discord, but that's a me problem.
I'm curious, can you link me her picture that she drew? Because I want to see it.
This morning, or like earlier today, I saw like a YouTube thumbnail that said, the Collector's true form revealed, and then on the thumbnail it had a picture of, like, Bellos' face after he removes his scar or whatever.
What?
Oh,
it was like a fake spoiler?
I guess depends when it was posted, but at least it's not spoiling it on the thumbnail. Also, yeah. We were completely wrong. He just says kill him at this scene. He does not say a name.
Oh, that's when he says it?
I think he's saying kill
him because...
That's
weird.
I think he's saying it... Well, is he saying... Because he sees the talisman and then says it. So, like, is it because he hates talisman?
What's going on there? What is it? Is it even Bellos saying that at that stage?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it looks like the monster that he's become, like, feeds off of talismans, and then he went into, like, human form for a second and was calm, and then, like, the talisman, like, made the monster, like, be like, okay, now murder.
Yeah, but they've all got talismans, so it's not like it's just we know for a fact that is his brother's talisman, so he must have something against that specific talisman.
Yeah.
Do we know specifically how he got like this? Was it because he was carving runes into his arm?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
It's implied. It could be that, or it could be the Collector.
Well, I think the paintings in the memory episode probably tell that story, right?
Yeah.
Like all the stuff he was doing to his body. Like turned him into this crazy thing.
Oh, you mean like when he was cutting himself?
Where was that? That was here somewhere. There
were flashes. Oh wow, good job, you found it.
There you go, perfect.
It's like a hand in the dirt, like in the Adventure Time intro.
And then like a baby Hootie coming out of a jar.
Oh my god, Hootie was here from the beginning.
I can't believe Hootie is the Collector.
I would think that this is like a Grimwalker one.
I know that the Owl House is like an actual established thing in the universe, but hearing King be like, "We're gonna play a game. It's called the Owl House." That's like hearing Finn be like, "We're gonna play a game. It's called Adventure Time."
Okay, can I?
But they do say Adventure Time.
I know, but just hearing it in universe is really weird. Yeah. Hey, look. Okay,
Baby Hunter.
Wait.
Oh no, it's one of the previous hunters. Oh, with the fucking dagger in his hand. Oh my god.
This person has a horn, though. Who's this person?
That's the person that looked like that's the person that looked like the guy we don't like, Bartholomew.
Oh look, there's dead hunter
there's
again.
a
You think it's Steve?
There's just so many dead hunters in this episode. What the hell?
More.
Carry on.
Oh.
That's it.
More
That's
dead
just
hunter.
those-
that's
and
it.
It's just those three. Okay, so it's just visions of him murdering Hunter. Okay, great.
I'm so proud of them for making Gus and Willow so likable, in my opinion. I love them. I really do.
Yeah, how do you get, like, you know, the Owl House characters, most of them being very likable in season 1, apart from, like, the main trio of, well, I'd say apart from Ida and Luz, and then you have season 2 where everybody is just great.
Something I really like about Willow is, like, we saw her doing the, like, breathing technique thing the other episode. That was really cute. And then this episode, she's, I don't know, she seems really good at calming people down. Like, that's her thing. Like she was, like, with King, and even though everybody was arguing, she was, like, waiting for the right moment to kind of just be like, "Hey, guys." And I'm like, oh my god, she's so smart and good at calming people. I love her. So cute. I guess they just kind of knew about Ida being not Rain. And I was wondering if we are going to get a reveal on, like, oh, here's a traitor amongst you. But I guess it was just kind of implied.
We didn't get that.
And it's like, how did they know? And they're like, oh, the Emperor's eyes everywhere. And I wonder if they'll ever go into that.
The Emperor may have his eyes everywhere, but Kikimura apparently had her eyes on the Emperor?
Yeah, but,
What?
like, that doesn't matter.
When she said that she saw the Collector, and how did she not know that the Emperor was going to kill her? Well, why is everyone on the Emperor's side just fucking crazy?
I mean, if you want people to believe your giant death plan, then you gotta get crazy people, I guess.
And be hot.
Okay.
Yeah, and be hot. Like, the Emperor's really got some good-looking folks.
What have they done to Lilith? Do we know where Lilith is? Because...
Last time we saw her, I think, was when they did that adorable "and I hate them for it" shot where it was a picture, or like a picture of all the friends when they were young. It flashed to
be
them
like
for a
this
second.
No,
so
we saw her in Hootie getting captured, I think.
Oh yeah, at the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. How did they capture Hootie?
They wrapped him up.
Also, like,
He was all like untangled, sort of in a ball.
Unbelievable.
and like back to the Collector, I think they did a really good job just showing the scale of their power, because obviously, like, they just come out and the zany music is playing over a really tense scene that was just happening. They one-shot the Emperor, and then the whole season you're like, draining spell, no one knows how to stop it. The Emperor just goes boop and just gets rid of it with their finger, and it's like, oh my god, they're so strong.
I just have to wonder, like, how did King's father imprison the Collector? Like, what on earth did he do?
Yeah, that's
Well, it
something.
seems like
That's
it's
something
a
that's so
Titan
interesting.
power, maybe. I don't know.
Like we don't know, because Titans are like gods, so they must have some sort of power of their own. But what I really liked is King was hidden from him because of the necklace he had. That I guess his father gave him or whatever.
I didn't even think about that. I thought, oh, the necklace is enchanted, so for some reason the Collector can't see him. But, like, his dad gave him a thing that specifically made him invisible.
They needed to hide him from the Collector specifically.
I don't know why that flew over my head. I was just like, oh, if they're connected, I guess that the Collector can only see him in the mirror realm or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe that is true, because that seemed to have happened, but...
Well, maybe that's why he couldn't see him in the mirror realm.
If we go back to the Metroid episode, like, I'm sure there must be some kind of Collector imagery that we didn't notice at the time, and all those murals on the wall, right?
I'll look on, like, the wiki page, see if I can see anything. But yeah, I thought that was really cool, like subtle lore of just like he's invisible and then he takes that off and that's it. He's not like, oh, the necklace makes the collector not see me. Like you just get it from seeing that happen. It's really cool.
We should watch the body swap episode right now.
Okay, so this is something that just occurred to me. A couple of episodes ago, talk about how the like school faction seemed like a totally separate thing, and then in the last one, Luz's friends met up with her. Who was it who like dropped Luz off and said, "We got some people to escort you"? I don't remember.
I don't know. Was it just one of the people in Cats? Because there was a few just like kind of random seeming.
Yeah, maybe it was. It was one of them.
Maybe they were random.
Well, didn't what's his name ask Hunter to escort them? Like, God, I can't remember his name now. Abomination Man.
Darius.
Yeah, Darius asked them to do it.
Yeah, maybe it was him. I'm not
sure.
There
was a lot of production.
But so they must have had some communication with each other then, that we didn't see. I'm wondering where's Principal Bump right now.
That's a good question.
See him? Did he get away?
Nick, I don't know if you've noticed, but like every one of these mural shots are showing have stars in them. I don't know. I guess that's just a thing people use, but maybe.
I mean, that could be related to the collector since he's a child from the stars.
The like scenes from the episode. Some of those were just the concept art.
I mean, he has a sigil, right? So I'm sure he was like feeling it like everyone else was, Principal Bump, but like. I don't know.
He was like in the middle of grading tests, and he's like, "Ow, what? Oh no, that's it." I want to rewatch this episode.
Oh right, and do you remember the?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's
the collector.
That's like exactly. Like, didn't the collector do exactly that? Like with the sun in the middle, spiral around it with their spell. Isn't that like exactly the imagery?
Yeah.
The hunters are enemies of the collector, but so was King's dad.
Well, weren't the hunters worshippers of the collector?
Oh, wait, no, wait. Am I getting it mixed up? Did they worship? They did worship the collector. That's why they gave King the connection to him. Yeah. But the collector couldn't see King because of the necklace, and they didn't know.
It's like, why? Why is the collector...
If the Boiling Isles has just been taken over by the collector, then that means that the Titan of the Boiling Isles might catch wind of it, and might be separated from the immediate turmoil, which means that we're most likely going to see the return of the Titan Hunters, either as collector cultists, enemies for the characters to fight in Season 3, or, oh god, it really is Weird Mageddon, isn't it? Or,
yes, I was going to bring that up earlier, I forgot to say that.
Oh my god.
But, well, because Chan was talking, like, about the collector's power, like, I was going to butt in and say, like, Bill Cipher kind of could do the exact same thing. But the context here is much more interesting because it's a show that has built its own magic lore. So to throw in a character who is doing things that we didn't think would be possible is really cool. Whereas Gravity Falls, it was anything goes. It was like, oh, Bill's so powerful. But it wasn't like you were shocked that he was so powerful because there were rules saying you couldn't be that powerful. It was just like, oh yeah, he's like from another dimension because they just do sci-fi stuff all the time. So it's like cool. But here in Owl House, it has like a lore reason that I think helps differentiate it from Bill Cipher's sort of powers and characters and stuff. But it is a very similar premise, absolutely. Luz getting... I know you guys reminded me that like Luz turning to stone, like yeah, he was doing that to Ida before too. But I was like, Dipper turned into stone. Like so, but
you nerd, you absolute nerd.
But no, yeah. There's just a lot of connections.
Wait,
it is kind of weird.
Can you click the king hatching ones?
Maybe.
Oh, Baba.
Does he have it? When does he have get the collar? Like, he doesn't have it here. Does Ida find him right after that? Oh,
we do see it, I think, or maybe not. See, this is what I'm talking about with this wiki just having that whole like a flip note of the whole episode. It's all
that's just a frame by frame. Oh my god!
It's like it's embedded.
Yeah,
like there's.
Which is a huge improvement. The wiki was not like this during Season 1. I remember because I was like checking it for something. They barely had anything.
King gets the most character updates out of everyone. First, he gained his horn, and now he has a crack on his skull. And now the intro is going to show cracked skull.
I was definitely expecting his him to start bleeding from that, and like that would be what was going on. But no, it's just kind of a.
Oh, that's
aesthetic.
interesting. If he started like bleeding Titan's blood out of that, and they did something with it. Ooh.
I was expecting it to crack and for him to become a giant Titan.
Maybe that's next.
I love how he used, or I don't know, like the moment with him at the end, he was like thanking her for being his first.
Wait,
of
hang
all,
on a second. What was that? Go up. Okay, can you see? Can we the screwdriver? Yeah, what's that?
I don't know.
It
He
says
writes his name on his collar. Did he write that?
I think so.
Did King write his own name on his collar? Would that explain it?
That explains nothing. It just has his name on his collar.
But it says King writes his name on his collar on the top.
Right, but I don't think that does anything. I think his collar just has his name on it now.
We have to watch the episode again.
What was I just saying? Does anyone remember? Oh, it was the King power thing. First of all, when he said Big Sister Toulouse, I wanted to cry. And when he was like apologizing, I was like, why is like he's just gonna let go? Like, why is he apologizing like this? And he's like, I can keep you safe. And I was like, why is you letting go gonna keep her safe? But then he shouted them into the door. Yeah. I was like, oh my god. That was good. I love it. I don't even know what else to say, honestly.
I know, like there's, it's just it's good, it's awesome, it's definitely what I would have wanted from a conclusion here. It did a good job of not leaving us hanging in a way that like sucks for sure.
We're literally gonna get to season 3, and the first episode's gonna be like a 3-month flash forward, and then it's gonna be like Luce and Amity, and Luce is gonna be like, "Did you get your Spanish homework done yet?" And Amity's like, "Not yet." And then it's just like a high school episode.
Hunter's like, "Wait, are we forgetting something?"
Like, the first season 3 episode is gonna be Hunter being like, "What is a burger?" And then they're gonna go to like the food court. Like,
that's kind of how Amphibia operates.
Y'all make all these references like this is just like Weird Mageddon. This is just like that thing, and I'm like, I don't know any of these references.
Right. Okay, so this episode did a wonderful job at combining tension and emotional stakes with higher level stakes. I did think there were some issues with regards to, I felt like the way the Day of Unity was resolved was sudden, to say the least. I mean, that's kind of supposed to be the point, but, like, Belos was literally just flicked and now he's dead, but not really, but he's gone. Like, the entire threat of the Day of Unity is gone like the snap of a finger. But the episode did a good job at combining high stakes with emotional stakes and tension, and it was much slower than, say, previous episodes have been, giving plenty of time to those most important and significant scenes, such as everybody being incredibly tense and scared, because that's the thing that they're trying to show us here. They're trying to show us how these characters react to an extremely stressful and scary situation, and how they try and help each other and comfort each other in the face of supposed Armageddon. I think they did a fantastic job with that, and they did a fantastic job of showing the relationships as well, how everybody has really come much closer together in the past season, such as the Willow, Gus and Hunter gang, Ida and Lilith, everybody, and even Luz. Oh God. Luz appealing to Belos to save her own, to save everybody.
Which would have literally not worked, by the way. She's like, if you promise you'll save my friends, I'll help you. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, he's gonna just fucking kill him anyway. But
well, yeah, there's no way that he'd have been able to save anyone.
That was all a trick, though.
I was gonna say, one, that was a trick, and two, we forgot to mention how amazing that was. She branded the Emperor. Yeah, oh my god, that was like cool. The best moment of the whole episode, and I didn't
oh my
even
god,
remember.
And they showed the hand, they showed the empty hand, and he was like, nice try, but no, and then it had an invisibility spell on it because Belos doesn't know how to do invisibility spells.
That was so good. And she just notices the branding hand in the back. Oh my god! And she's so smart.
Did she really not combine glyphs at all when she saw him in the past?
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
She only showed him the light bulb glyph, didn't she? So he had no idea she could do that.
Oh, it's so cool, especially because we find out the Emperor can't even stop the draining spell. Like, the Emperor has no idea how to do it, and once he was branded, it was like over. Like, he was like, all I can do is go on this demonic rampage now. Like, everything's over. There's like nothing to lose at that point, which is terrifying. And now we have to wait like 2 years. Just kidding. Maybe not.
Oh,
Who
man,
knows?
I mean,
No,
maybe,
no,
though.
not 2 years.
I don't know.
No.
I can at least say with like certainty that I have no reason to believe they won't be able to close this show in like such an amazing way, because it's like there's not too much to really answer. So like they can.
That's why we think we're gonna get a random high school episode for no reason, because like they could close it in like one more episode. Honestly, even like they shouldn't, but they could.
Like, even
Yeah,
though
it's
they
not
got
very-
canceled,
It's not,
like as a surprise, like I'm really happy they're able to still knock it out of the park like this.
They should do a Minecraft episode, like Adventure Time. I mean, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about their Minecraft server.
Yeah, true.
They should make that canon.
Yeah.
they've done a good job at keeping the threads of the show narrow, so that when it does finally close out, all of the relationships are already resolved long before the final season, so we haven't had like massive overarching character plots or anything like that. We've just had focused, almost self-contained episodes that work very well by themselves but can also be expanded on at later dates, rather than long overarching plots that depend on an end that hasn't happened yet. So we could effectively resolve the remainder of the plot in one episode, or we could resolve it in 6 episodes, depending on how they want to play it and what they would want to give room to expand on within those episodes. I'm guessing they are going to do a good job at filling out that time, rather than, procrastinating or too much padding. So we'll get plenty of time with the Owl House characters before they finally evaporate the collective for good, I'm assuming, and then restore peace to the Boiling Isles, or whatever they want to do.
I feel like it is 6, right? Like, in terms of time, we have 6 episodes left. Because is it 3 44-minute episodes?
Yes.
I feel like that's like the perfect amount of time, too. Like, I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm not worried about it. And we all know how it will go. In like 3 years, it will come back on HBO Max, and we'll be able to enjoy it some more.
Yeah, they'll do the Amphibia crossover.
Yeah. What do you think? Any other thoughts?
I just reiterate how cool it looks and how good the music was, for sure.
Yeah, and the voice acting, as always. Like, Rain in particular, they're like... I love them. What did they say to Ida exactly? Like, I promised someone I'd keep you safe. Were they referring to something they promised to Ida, or who did they promise that to?
They said, like,
Oh,
I promised a very
right.
special kid I'd keep you safe.
Oh, that's... okay. Oh, man.
So did you forget that happened in the last episode?
I forgot. Also, without context, it's so funny. I promised a very special kid I'd keep you safe. Rips arm off. Like, in, like, text form. That's, like, the best, like, out-of-context Owl House thing I've ever heard. Oh, we closing it up? Question mark?
Well, ratings, I guess. I don't know. Is it a 10 again? Like, it was good.
It was a great episode, but I mean, like, it's,
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing to add. I think
it's not like a theory episode. It's like, this is like a resolution of all these things happening, and it's like, okay, we watched it, we reacted to it, and...
Guys, this could be our last Owl House podcast for a very long time. It could literally be 2 years before the next one. So would you like to have some closing thoughts on the season as a whole and how it's been making you feel?
That's a good idea. You're a genius.
I thank you, I know.
I mean,
Yeah, I wish I'd thought of that earlier and had a prepared answer, but I don't.
I mean, I adored this season. Like, I even, I liked the show from the beginning, even like the crummier episodes. I thought it had a lot of heart and it was really fun, but in season 2, like, it just felt like it expanded on everything I liked about the show, and I really, really just... I'm trying to think back on, like, it started with Luce going after the, what was it, Celtidamus or something? What was that? The big sea monster, and then we met Hunter for the first time. And
this was
and then Amity and Luce's. What was that?
This whole season is kind of Hunter's storyline.
Yeah, but and then like
it's a very good storyline.
And then Luce and Amity getting together, like the way, because I remember back in the infamous sports episode when Amity was being really blushy, I was concerned that her character was going to completely shift, but oh man, how much I loved her. Like it's just crazy. It's really nice. It's not very often that I watch a show and I watch like a new season and really can just like definitively say like this feels objectively just an improvement in every way, and that's just what I felt. Good job. Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Someone else talk.
Well, how come the Owl House went from the okay but like kind of it wasn't, season 1 isn't bad by any means. It had, like I said in the previous video, it had the core relationship of Edo, Luz and King. Everything that went outside that core relationship tended to be mediocre at best, but as long as it stuck to that, it made some fine episodes. Nothing to blow your socks off, but the world was kind of curious enough, such as the Bat Palisman episode, for your imagination to be tantalised. Now, Season 1 on rewatch is a little bit painful to rewatch. I mean, it's fine, it's fun, it's fine. But Season 2, and the fact that Season 2 got better and better and better over time, I don't understand how that's even possible. Like, when's the last time we had a bad episode in Season 2? We had the one that I gave, like, a low score because I couldn't pay attention to it.
The one with the author, that one.
Yeah, I barely watched it, and when I watched it, I expected them to drag the Hunter being, barely realising he's being mistreated plot for ages, but then they resolved it in the very next Hunter appearance, and if I went back and rewatched that episode, I'd probably give it a much higher score, knowing what I know now about how those characters progressed and, the really nice bond that they developed later in the season. And so, Season 2 is going to be a job, one heck of a job to rewatch, and I just can't... How? What kind of gods did what kind of collector mirror did Dana Terrace give some Titan blood to in order to get the power to make Owl House Season 2 this good? Like, the moment at the very end, barring the stupid amphibia reference, which is funny, but it's dumb, the moment, I mean, that's why it made me angry, like, the moment at the end where they all just smash through the portal and are just there, in Earth, and Luz opens and closes the door over and over, and you have your squad now, your Season 3 squad of Amity, Willow, Luz, Gus, Hunter, and you're like, those are the characters who are going to resolve the rest of the plot, and you have room for an incredibly focused Season 3.
And V, we didn't see her, but there's no way she's not gonna play a part, She definitely will.
Shira did something similar in that when all the characters went to space, there was only 5 of them, and then it spent a lot of time resolving things with those 5, so it wasn't too expansive, I guess. But in this case, Our House, it's it really feels like it's going to be all killer no filler next season, and if it's the same quality that Season 2 has been, then like I said, we are heading for the greatest series finales we have ever seen. This is already one of the best season finales I've ever seen. It might even blow most of Adventure Time's wacky season finales out of the water.
Because I was thinking, the last season finale, we all weren't so hot on, right? And I think, I don't remember if this was, on the podcast, or maybe it was just something we were talking about some other time, but Tipsy, I think I remember you saying, what's a show that you really remember, you really like for its finale, that has a really good finale, and, there's a lot of shows that I like a lot, but, the last episode isn't always the best part, and, because it's so easy to not get it quite right when you've spent so long building up to something, but this one, really did get it right.
And it's there's a big mystery here of how are they going to get back, and like how, and what is happening on the other side of that door? Like, what is the Collector doing? We saw like every Coven head leader just basically kind of decay and die, and then Ida's, I guess I assume that they're okay now, question mark, because the draining spell was shut off, but it's just like, for all we know, Ida's alone. Everybody's like in like a magic coma, and there's just no way to get back to her, and it's just like, oh man, what is going on?
And King's presumably being volleyballed around like a plaything, trying to play. Oh God, the Owl House. What a what a joke, but also not a joke whatsoever. Oh my God. Everybody, let's play the Owl House. We need every single person.
The show's gonna end with like the Boiling Isles and everything getting destroyed, and but then King dies and becomes the new island. Because
no,
it's after becoming a very, very large Titan, King becomes the new island.
King becomes an adult and immediately dies.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe like getting big is just something that only happens to Titans after they die.
Whoa. It's like that one comic they made of Jake where he just completely expand. I love that's like one of my favorite things.
So
anyway,
Tipsy,
sorry.
like a minute ago, you mentioned like season 3 has the potential to be all killer, no filler, and that specific phrasing just made me think like, any show it takes a while for them to, it could take a while for them to like really nail down their formula and all their characters really well, and with the Owl House. We had the slightly rocky season 1, and season 2 was, overall much better quality. But, like, they found their footing and then immediately had to start running because they didn't have much time left. And so in season 2, I feel like a contributing factor that we like it so much probably is that there are less filler episodes because they don't have time for them.
Yes. As rude as it is to say, because, like, people, it sucks that they got canceled when they thought they would hope they have more and stuff, but like what they're doing here is still like super good, and it's like, would it be worse if it was longer?
I was wondering that. Would they have like made the Hunter plot like way more drawn out if they had more time, sort of?
Well, I was kind of thinking when we were seeing the Day of Unity happen and all the Coven heads were up there, and several of them were people we don't know at all. I feel like I've never seen them. We probably have seen them like once because there was like that one.
Like the Oracle Coven head leader, I assumed, with like the mask. Oh, they were cool.
I don't know. That's just probably maybe if we had more episodes, we could have actually gotten to meet all of them, which would have been neat. But
the guy who got eaten by ants.
Yeah.
But not entirely necessary, I guess, as we've seen, because this has been a great season.
Listen, it's not all doom and gloom. I assume you guys are down for this, but like, we get to do a Hootie Awards for season 2, and I feel like that's going to be fun. Like,
yes,
and
I was going to ask about that.
Like, last season it was like favorite character, favorite episode. For me, it was like very obvious every time. This one, it's like, I love everybody and I love every episode, so it's going to take a lot of thought. And I'd love to do
Honestly,
yeah, I definitely would need to go and watch some over again or something.
Get more sponsors, too. Like basketball or something.
Basketball, too.
But, Nick's thoughts on this series, I guess. It's really good. I don't know. I have such a hard time remembering shows and stuff that I'm watching because I've been going through stuff pretty, like, quickly. It's not often that things recently have been like super duper resonating with me, and I wouldn't really even say that this show is, but like I'm loving it, but it's it's always on the back of my mind. I'm always looking forward to the next episode, but it's not like gripping me like how I was gripped by like Adventure Time or anything like that. Like, this is still a very casual show for me, but I still love it to pieces, and I basically agree with everything you guys said, where this season is delivering really well on being like sort of a mini series, giving like just pacing itself so nicely. But the thing too, like whenever we watch an episode, I put on an episode, I can tell that this show has like I don't know if it's just the way that they're using little tricks or something, but like it seems so polished. Like there's something to the way it looks and the way it's animated, how often it has cool action scenes and stuff, that like it seems like it's a step above a lot of other Western cartoons, just like in the visual department.
I've definitely noticed
which I really
that.
like.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I would say I'm a fan of the style, really. Like, I don't know how much I really like the way the characters look. I think I love their designs, but, like, I would favor, maybe a little bit of a weirder style over this, but still the ways that they animated, the amount of, like, costumes the characters get and stuff, the background art, even this episode's a perfect example of, like, the lighting effects and stuff. Like, they have some really, really great artists and stuff working on this, because it really, like, it stands out in the visual department a lot to me. And that's kind of the hook of it, because, like, I talk about it a lot with, like, it has so much horror stuff in it. And whenever they do that, they get so into it, and it's so cool. It just, the way they can make it look is so different from other stuff. Because kind of the only other comparable, again, would be Gravity Falls. And it's like, I love how Gravity Falls looks, but it doesn't look like this show. Like, it doesn't look as good as this show much at all, which is, I don't want that to be rude to say, because Gravity Falls still looks great, but there's something about this show where, like, every single frame and scene is, like, really interesting. I think maybe Gravity Falls just kind of has more, it's weird, Gravity Falls weirdly has more of a sitcom thing going on, because, it's not like there's filler episodes in it, but there's a lot more situational episodes, whereas Owl House, even within season 1, and of course, like, the entirety of season 2 has been foot on the gas, like, lore episodes. Like, they do that a lot. So I think they just, like, they knew to keep things cinematic always, even if it is a simpler episode. Whereas a show like Gravity Falls or whatever else, even, like, maybe Steven Universe, like, they usually frame things in very basic ways most of the time, unless there's a big moment that needs to look really good. So I think that's something that stands out about this show a lot to me. And I say it too, like, I don't like fantasy settings that much, but something about again, it's kind of maybe the horror elements, or, like, just the way, like, the whole world is kind of like a weird gross out world, or it's all bones and stuff. Like, there's, like, they have bile sacs on their hearts that give them the magic and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I'd argue
they use that
less
for comedy.
It's, like, not really fantasy. Like you said, it's like there is a lot of gross and body horror. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely fantasy.
That helps
it's just
me love it.
a particular take.
Yeah, it's definitely fantasy in a lot of ways. Just kidding,
Yeah.
but, like,
and I mean, you got, like, it being about covens and stuff. Like, I've never watched I've never, like, even heard the term coven before this show. And,
really?
But, like, you guys were talking. I mean, like, vaguely, but I didn't really, like, I've never saw a piece of media where, like, that's the focus of it. Really,
I'm in a coven in real life. We meet naked in the woods every day at 3 a.m.
Oh, what the heck? That's what that's called? That's
Yeah.
a coven?
And
All
you're
right.
like, I guess I'm in a coven too.
I guess I'm in one too.
Yeah, just all the horror elements I agree with. Casually having, like, all the bones of the previous hunters under the bridge. We didn't mention that. That.
Oh, I needed to mention. So, you know how the Emperor threw the collector's mirror off the bridge?
Hang on, my dog is awake and he's probably gonna pee on my bed. I gotta get him out of here.
Okay, thanks.
You can continue.
Keep talking.
Right. Okay, so the collector's mirror landed in a previous cloak of the Golden Guard. So Hunter dying, like Bella's thrown away Hunter, effectively saved the collector and saved the link with the collector, which allowed King to summon the collector and end Belos. So Belos is, in a sense, his own undoing.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised that the mirror didn't shatter. I guess it's made of diamonds or something.
No, it like I said, it landed in Hunter's cloak. It landed in a little safety. The cloak wasn't on the floor or anything. It was, like, hung up and it just landed in the
I
cloak.
didn't
Well,
even
he did,
notice that.
like-
That is genius.
Bellas did, like, throw it while wrapping it in something. Was that the cloak, or, like?
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe
either
it
way,
was
like,
his
still,
own
that was
cloak.
still.
I think-
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he did put something around it because I guess he didn't want people to see it, and he just, like, threw it off.
No,
But
it was
I think-
because the collector, like, this was new information to this episode, as far as we knew specifically. It seems like when the collector is trapped in his beast ball thing in another dimension or whatever, the mirror is the only way he can communicate with anyone in this world, or, like, in the demon realm. So when the Emperor covered up the mirror, that was covering up the collector's only way of communication. So he was, like, shutting him up by doing that.
I'm back. I have a dog on my lap.
Also, Nick, I know Gravity Falls is like your absolute baby, and I have to have respect for the cartoons of 2012 that led up to these being possible. But Owl House kind of blows it out of the park. Sorry.
Well, I could see. I worry about rewatching Gravity Falls because I feel like even I would notice it's not that
Dude,
great. But it just has
rewatched
aesthetics. It has aesthetics. The way they did the overarching mystery and like working with the internet community to solve that stuff. Like it's very
it's
special
got a vibe,
to me
hasn't
because
it?
it's very special to me because of that stuff. I know if I looked at it again, the writing probably wouldn't be that great, but just the effect it had on me creatively and stuff makes me like I have to love it and think about it all the time.
Exactly, just how I like Over the Garden Wall and Gunbuster.
Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah, even though those aren't like massively spectacular, they have that vibe, and I just love it so much. But in terms of like quality writing, bloody hell, like today's cartoons, these last these last Titans, I should say, Owl House, The Last Man Standing. My God, what a send off to the generation.
Yeah.
Very depressing.
I wanted to mention too, just like also the representation that's in this show is like incredible. But I mean, we bring that up whenever it's the subject of an episode anyways, but like that's also another leading factor that just makes me love this series
Very
a lot.
true.
Because the way they've been treating everything there.
What do you think? Do you want to rate the episode?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out
I'll be
of 10.
nice to it, and I'll let it keep that point I was going to dock because I did it to be a joke.
How about you give it an 11 out of 10, but then dock the point for the...
Yeah, I'll give it an 11. I give it an 11 out of 10, but it had a really, really inappropriately timed joke at the end, so I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 instead.
I'm also a 10, absolutely.
What if they just like the last season, like it actually becomes an Amphibia crossover, and it's like, well, fuck you if you didn't watch Amphibia.
Well, I was watching Amphibia yesterday, and they were talking about portals through dimensional worlds, and there was very clearly a picture of the Owl
I
House
know
on
what you're
screen.
talking about. A little while ago, or like before the Amphibia like hiatus ended and the season came back, I was thinking like it feels so right that they would do a crossover between the two shows because like I don't know, the vibes are similar. They reference each other all the time like they just did in this one. But like there's no possible way they could have done that without it being extremely plot important to both shows. So like yeah, it didn't happen and it's not going to happen, I don't think.
No.
Nick, what's your rating?
Well, Gravity Falls takes place in the same multiverse as Rick and Morty. That's really cool. Anyways, I wanted to say 9.5 only because I feel like I liked the episode before this better. Just because it had more character stuff going on. And that's like basically the only reason. Like this episode was super cool, intense. But I think I'll still just give it a 10. Like I'll say that the other one was better still to me. But this one like just kicked so much ass. It had so much cool stuff, so much nice horror stuff. The subtle collector lore and seeing the collector in action, the way it ends. It's all very, very awesome.
Tulip, don't ruin it.
Yeah, I said it earlier. Like it's gotta be a 10.
And the music, it could be an 11 out of 10 because of some of the music too.
I don't even need to think about it. I don't even need to think, oh, what if this episode was good enough to be worth a 10? It just like the whole thing, the experience.
Are you saying we're all 10s? Is this the first time ever?
I don't think so.
Don't think so.
Are you sure?
We had some in season 1 and perhaps earlier
We
in
had
season
all
2.
10s before?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I believe you. I just always remember, like, trying to be like, okay, this is the time, and then someone's like, 6. I hated it. Just like, no! Dang it,
You're
Tipsy!
welcome.
I also gave a 10 to like the past 3 episodes. I mean, I guess the Owl House is good, huh?
Yeah.
I'll rewatch that episode, the one with Caleb.
Alright, I'm gonna do this haiku right now, okay?
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay? The Emperor is dead. All hail the Collector.
I think
Here
we need
comes-
one more syllable on that one.
All hail... Oh, is hail... Oh, hail's 1 syllable, isn't it? Oh, no. I thought hail was 2.
All hailing.
Or bow to the Collector! Or kneel to the Collector.
The Emperor is dead. All kneel to the Collector. High school episode. That's it. All right.
All right. See y'all next season.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please hit the like button so more viewers like you can find this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel with notifications on to see my future content, and follow me on other sites like TikTok and Twitter for special exclusives. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more.